Good afternoon to the listening public. I am Sidama Jones and I am a tax officer at the Nevis Inland Revenue Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Fayon Jones, the Director of Sales and Marketing at the Nevis Tourism Authority.
First, I just want to say thank you for joining me today, and we are here to speak about a not so popular tax, but it affects most of the general public. And this tax is dubbed the Tourism Development Levy, or TDL, basically for short. Now, for the sake of those that are not familiarized with this TDL, what is it, by the way?
The Tourism Development Levy, this is a tax paid by consumers of tourism services, so that includes stay at hotels and guest houses and the sale of food and beverages at restaurants.
And if I just may jump in there, because you said it's not so popular. You know, I want to say that I think it's actually a popular tax in relations to its tourism, and it drives the tourism industry and the development of the tourism. So I think out of all of the taxes that we do pay, this is actually one of the most popular, and I go as far as to say on a limb, one of the most liked taxes.
One of the most crucial taxes. When you really
thank
think
you.
of it, tourism is the backbone of Nevis. It's one of the main economic drivers here, and TDL is something that honestly will help sustain all our efforts to position the destination Nevis as actually one of the top premier destinations within the Caribbean.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank both of you for that, of course, and thank you for, providing that explanation. Basically, I'm not sure Mr. Jones, Miss Jones or Miss Rivera, who is basically responsible for collecting the Tourism Development Levy.
Okay, so the Tourism Development Levy is collected by hotels, restaurants, guest houses, Airbnb operators. And all of these entities must be registered at the Inland Revenue Department before collecting that tax.
And what about the rate? What is the rate for the what is the rate and how is the Tourism Development Levy calculated?
The rate was increased on June the 1st of this year to 3%. It was 2%, and it is applied to the gross and VAT adjustments. So all registrants should now know how to file their taxes via the website www.skniid.com, and we've made it super easy. So once you enter your gross, it automatically calculates the amount payable, and that amount is payable to the Inland Revenue Department on or before the 15th of the following month.
Ms. Jones, in addition to that, where is the TDL paid?
At the Inland Revenue Department.
I'm sorry, yes. And what about, let's say, the funds from this tax? What is it exactly used for?
Well,
yes.
You want me to jump?
Yes, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for the question. So the Tourism Development Levy speaks to just that. It is used at the Nevis Tourism Authority to further expand our marketing efforts to position Nevis as one of the premier destinations in the Caribbean region, and I want to say the world. So obviously for us to increase heads in beds and encourage persons to come and stay in Nevis, and just to build the general awareness of Nevis, this is what some of the funds are used for. And it helps overall in the marketing efforts of Nevis Tourism Authority. Now, we all know that when it comes to Nevis being a well-known Caribbean island, we still have some roads to trod. So these funds help us to help with the trade shows. It helps with various public relation aspects. It helps with various marketing initiatives. So anytime you see NTA, whether you're on social media, whether you're in the US or the UK, and you're hearing or seeing our logo, ads, etc., all of these funds is what helps to generate and push Nevis out there so persons can come to Nevis.
Yeah, and I just further expounding on that. Recently, the NTA conducted a comparative analysis of the destination, and what we realized is that what Theon actually said is that the destination, Nevis as a destination, is relatively undiscovered, and the uniqueness of the island, all the different unique positions and unique offerings on the island, we need to let individuals know of that, to really position ourselves as a distinct destination, separate and apart from a lot of other destinations in the Caribbean. And the only way we could do that is if we take our voices to the global market. So attending the road shows, attending trade shows, these things cost a lot. And for example, if we are to participate in WTM, which is the World Tourism Market in the UK, one booth is about 30,000 pounds. And that is the opportunity we get to speak to the UK market, the travel and trade. We get to speak to the media, all the travel journalists and travel writers. We get to speak to them about Nevis and tell them how such a unique and distinct destination there is, such a beautiful, welcoming destination. But if we do not have the funds available to participate in such shows, then what happens is that Nevis remains relatively undiscovered. What happens is that we are unable to really push in terms of and ensure that the tourism dollar makes its way to Nevis, and then we are unable to really solidify our backward linkages, because as you can clearly see, the properties and even the restaurants, you get when the visitors come, they enjoy the meals, but where do we get the meals? From our farmers, from our fishermen. Now, if we are not out there pushing Nevis and saying come to Nevis, what's going to happen is that the numbers are going to remain quite small, and the amount of monies that would be circulating within the economy, that tourist dollar that's supposed to circulate in the economy, is not going to be there. So there is a need for us to extend our voices globally and to actually position the destination, position Nevis as that destination to visit, and therefore encouraging numbers, the growth of our arrival numbers here on island.
Yes. And if you want, you could also expand on the social media aspect as well. Even that cost funds. So when you're on social media, you Google, you're seeing ads, whether you're scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, all of that costs funds. And in order for us to continue to be visible, as Andy just said, we need to continue to invest in the marketing efforts of the Nevis Tourism Authority. One thing I've learned over the years is that marketing is something that should be constant. You always have to create that constant awareness for persons. Sometimes when you do marketing, you may not get it right away, which is the return on investment. But given that you've created that awareness in the person's mind, when they do think about vacation, whether it's 6 months after you've had that interaction, it's going to pop up in their mind, oh, Nevis, and then they come. And that's where a lot of the funds have to be utilized, marketing and constant marketing. And those are just some of the examples that we gave, but there are many, many more places that we have to be, and places that we have to advertise and market. My CEO said the UK market is one, the US market, the Caribbean market, and you're still looking at new markets, you know, so it's so much stuff that we have to do and continue to market Nevis Tourism Authority.
And just as Feon said, in terms of the social media part, the digital component, just to actually run a campaign on social media, and a targeted campaign, that would run you about $3,000 a month. And if you really consider, as he said, it's a constant, marketing is constant, the always on the go component of social media, that means you're always on. Every time you go, there is a sponsored ad, and I'm certain all of us have, had the opportunity to scroll, and while you're scrolling, you will see something that says sponsored ad, or you will see that's at the bottom of an ad, it will be sponsored, or visit website or something to that effect on Instagram, and also on Facebook. To run one ad like this, which is very targeted, once you have you understand your audience, you know exactly location geographically and even demographically what you're going to target. this costs a lot. It costs a lot to run broad digital awareness campaigns. It costs a lot to wear targeted campaigns. There are certain campaigns that may run you within about for a month. If you're running for a month to say 3 months, might run us up to about $10,000. And as we everyone is scrolling on their phone these days. So it is so important to not just attend trade shows and consumer shows or have articles published in Condé Nast and so forth, but it's also very important that we understand the potential to potential when we extend our digital footprint.
Yes.
Hence the reason why the TDL must be collected. We encourage our stakeholders to pay, because this is the fund that goes back into all the campaigns that we're hoping to establish, which will be very soon, sometime at the last quarter. We are looking to establish a campaign known as Nevis, Nevis for this winter. And it's just telling people, it's broad awareness campaign, letting them know that Nevis is here. Choose Nevis. Come to Nevis, experience Nevis. To run this winter campaign, which is purely digital, it's going to cost a lot. So it's important that the stakeholders, it's important that individuals who pay TDL understand that without the TDL, Nevis will remain relatively undiscovered.
And with that said,
Yes, go on,
from
Ms. Jones. Yes.
Mr. Jones and Ms. Riviere, I think if you were listening, you'll understand the importance of paying your tourism development levy, paying it on time to avoid penalties from the Inland Revenue Department.
You know, Ms. Jones, I was about to come in and say, I think Mr. Jones know what I'm going to say, but how the song go? Pay your taxes. Yeah, I was about to. That's where you come in, Ms. Jones.
Yes.
But we just have a few minutes left. I just have one question, and I'm a very pragmatic fellow, and Ms. Jones touched on the fact that the TDL is collected by hotels and restaurants. Okay, fine. Now, I want to eat at a restaurant, and I get my bill. What I'm just trying to ask is, how do I, as a person who go out to eat, how do I contribute to the payment of this TDL, if I contribute in whatever way?
Okay, when you eat out, on the bill, it should have the breakdown of what you're paying. So you should say the VAT amount if the person is a VAT registrant, the service charge, as well as the tourism development levy. So the receipt that you get, it should have the breakdown, so you'll be able to see what your contribution is to the tourism development levy and what you're being charged, which should not be more than 3%.
And thank you for that, Ms. Jones. I want to always thank you for pointing out and making things so easy for me. Yes,
friendly tax officer. Friendly neighborhood tax.
But gentlemen and ladies, we just have a minute and a half left. Is there anything any of you feel you should mention at this juncture? Anything you didn't feel you didn't get to say but you want to say now? Anything at all?
Well, I want to say that we have a robust marketing plan for 2026. Of NTA, that is to really put Nevis on the global stage. So I'm encouraging all our stakeholders, ensure that you pay your TDL and pay the TDL on time to avoid any penalties, as Ms. Jones indicated. But your support towards the growth and development of tourism on island is actually through paying the TDL. And those who are, I want to say thank you so very much, and that definitely the contributions will help us achieve our goals and objectives for this quarter and for 2026.
I guess so. I just want to Go ahead. She said it, right? I was just going to say I concur. So yeah, I just want to say I fully concur. The funds are needed, and we have a very robust plan, as the CEO just mentioned, and we look forward to a great 2026, welcoming all the persons to our shows. And I think we've all seen that tourism is on a rise right now, and let's just continue in that vein. So we welcome everyone to continue to pay your TDL, and let's make Nevis, or continue to make Nevis great.
And I just want to end by saying, be a responsible citizen.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Fionn Jones, Miss Sidamo Jones, and Miss Andy Rivera.
Yes.
Get it good?
You
Okay.
got it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And thank you for stopping by and taking the time out of your, your schedules to explain in detail about the TDL and whatnot. What can folks anticipate, basically, and I want to appreciate the fact that it's not a new thing.
No.
It's been there. It's
Yes.
just a slight increase.
Yes.
I want to thank you for explaining all of that, for making it so palatable. We hope the best to the Inland Revenue and the NTA, and you guys will achieve your desired objectives. Have a great day, have a great
Thank
lunch,
you.
and stay
Thank
safe.
you.
All right, thanks.
Yes.